So hello, welcome to the video and welcome to cabin A723 on the P&O Azura. P&O clearly prefers to have 4-digit alphanumeric cabin numbering systems rather than the 5-digit numbering system that you see on other ships, as Deck A is equivalent to Deck 12. We docked in Tenerife for the last day of the cruise, so it's time to share my cabin with you and to give you my opinions on it. So the P&O cruise experience has been, well, it's been so-so, albeit with periodic outbreaks of excellence. And I'd say my thoughts about the cabin pretty much mirror that. It's not been great, but there are some things I do quite like. So if you'd like to see what this cabin aboard the P&O Azura is like, stick around. Hi, I'm Matt, and I love cruising. I love the ships, the places you visit, the entertainment, and every now and again I'll also enjoy a drink. So subscribe to see where I go next and perhaps get some inspiration for your next cruise. As has become a tradition, here's where my cabin was. I always aim to be close to but not right next to an elevator, and I was 5 rooms away on this occasion. No clues from the carpet on this ship as to which way is forwards and which is back. My neighbour followed me when I filmed this and thought I was completely mad. So into the cabin, and the first thing to note is that you have a separate clothes storage area immediately outside the bathroom. I quite like this design because it lets you, well, it gives you plenty of space to hang your clothes, to store stuff above and below without requiring closets. Lots of hanging space and also some shelving in here. Top tip with the safe is close the door and lock it even if you don't put anything in it. It was banging against the door on the first night. It took me an age to work out what the noise was, and once I locked the safe I was able to remove that annoying banging. So pretty full marks really for the clothes storage solution on this ship. Through into the main bed area, and you can immediately see that it's not enormous. There's no sofa area available to you, possibly because that space has been used for that clothing storage option. And I have the bed with 2 singles pushed together. For me it's a bit short. You see the end isn't rounded like you see on some ships. It gives you plenty of space to get past the bed, but it does make it a little short if you're on the taller side. And as I said, it's 2 single beds pushed together, so there is quite a pronounced join between the 2 beds, which has inconvenienced me a little bit while I've been sleeping. What inconvenienced me even more is the very strange location of these cabin room light controls. There's one here, and you can see another one just over here. Now I can only think that when the beds are separated they are both located to the side of the bed, but when the bed is together those switches are right where my head goes, and I did manage to turn all the lights in the cabin on when I was asleep one night, which was quite startling and very unpleasant, and it took me quite a while to work out what was going on. So that's a very strange design decision, to put room lights precisely where your head is likely to be if you have the bed in the most common double configuration. A bedside light which is pretty feeble. I will now cut to an image of what the room looks like with the light on after dark. Bedside drawers either side, and all in all it's okay. Not brilliant, but okay. Beside it is a desk area, makeup area with a very large mirror. Hello. And the next real problem with the cabin is the electricity situation. There are 2 plugs here. There's actually an American one hidden away over here, and that is it for the whole cabin. There is a shaver point in the bathroom, but this is quite a long way from the bed. So as you can see, the cable that I've bought, the USB charging cable, almost makes it to a convenient position beside this side of the bed, but it's inconvenient nevertheless because I sleep on the other side of the bed. So it's a ship that was built 13 years ago, or was launched 13 years ago, probably before USBs were commonplace, and it hasn't been updated since to recognise that not having power available by the bed is a major problem, and it has been really quite annoying to not have any power closer to where you actually need it. Another storage cupboard down here, which I think has got the hair dryer in it, not something that troubles me these days, but it may be helpful to know that if you still have hair. Over here we have a chair. I suppose it gives you an alternate place to sit rather than on the bed. Reasonably comfortable, but you know, sort of a bit stuck out in the middle of the room because there's no dedicated area for it. A table, which is handy, I suppose. Tea and coffee making facilities, because we are all British on this cruise ship and we cannot go anywhere without tea and coffee making facilities. You do also have a little mini bar down here, which is unpopulated with anything and isn't particularly cold, but I suppose it's helpful to have it if you need to keep something vaguely chilled. And above it is probably the biggest clue of all, that this ship was launched in 2010 and it's a 2010 television. It's small, it's very poor quality, it's also quite a long way away from the bed, and even if you do find you want to watch it, there's not very many channels to choose from. A sports channel, 2 BBC channels, 2 Sky Sports channels, and a general entertainment channel. There are also videos on demand, which is actually probably quite a good thing to have if it's terrible weather outside, but you know, you don't really want the television in the cabin to be brilliant, but you do want it to be better than this one is. And the balcony, which got a wash today, so it's still a little bit soggy out there, but it's not huge. I suppose it's decent size, but I think these chairs are actually really quite comfortable. I've enjoyed sitting out here, and you've obviously got one the other side with footrests, which are a pleasant little addition to the normal balcony setup. And we're in Tenerife today, so that's the view you get. You happen to be on the side of the ship that is close to where you dock, as I am today. So the last area to talk about is the bathroom, which is really quite dated. Here we go. So it's small, it's not particularly well equipped, the usual shelving area for you to put your bits and bobs. Not a lot else to say really, and then the shower, which is very old style, very limited movement on the shower head, which again, because I'm quite tall, makes it quite difficult for me to actually wash my hair without sort of sitting on the floor. A shower curtain, which is never the best available option. It's not bad actually, it doesn't seem to cling to you too much when you're showering, but it isn't great, and overall it's a bit dated. Is that mould starting to grow around the footing there? I don't know. Look, I've had much better showers, and so will you. So there you go, a ship that was launched in 2010 and hasn't really been updated since, and you can clearly see that from the quality of the TV, the lack of PowerPoints, and the general sort of drabness of the decor in here. But I do like the balcony, and I do like the storage options that are available in this cabin, and there is plenty of storage. But if the bed's not that comfortable and it's not that long, and you are annoyed by the gap between the two beds that have been shoved together, and you do find yourself inadvertently using your head to turn the lights on in the middle of the night, it's never going to be a great cabin if you're not getting a great night's sleep. I will say that the blackout curtains have been pretty good. It does get dark in here, and the noise isolation from the neighbouring cabins, particularly the one above, has been very, very good. So those are distinct positives about this cabin, but overall it's just not very good, and I'd really have to think twice about whether to stay in this cabin at all. One other thing that is pertinent that I do need to mention is that there is only one visit from your cabin steward every day, and even then that will only happen if you remember to put this in your door slot before you go out during the day. If you don't, he won't come. Now, it was explained to us that cabin stewards in the evenings have other duties, which means they don't offer a turn down service. Now, That's not by any means the end of the world. Having your bed turned down, having your towels refreshed, possibly having a chocolate on your pillow, possibly having a towel animal, those are all things that are nice to have, and they do add value to the cruise experience, but they're not essential. And P&O has obviously decided to save the money by redeploying their cabin stewards in the evenings to other responsibilities. So if you get poor service in the restaurant in the evening, it may very well be that that service is being given to you by a cabin steward who that morning was cleaning your toilets. If that helps P&O get back to profitability and rebuild its financial strength after the you-know-what, then you know what, I'm absolutely delighted to contribute to it. If it's just P&O trying to save cost and trying to get away with it by not perhaps advertising that this is the cruise experience you're going to get before you get on board, then I have more of a problem with it. I'll talk more about the cruise overall in this video, which will be a review of the experience. Basically, it was okay. As I said, outbreaks of excellence, but they are fairly few and far between. And the cabin, not brilliant. So thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Please give this video a like if you did. Please leave me a comment. Have you sailed on the Azura, or have you sailed on a newer P&O ship? Did the cabins on those look better than this one? Please subscribe if you're new, and if you'd like to support what I'm doing more directly, there is a Patreon account, the link to which is in the description below. So thanks again for watching, and I'll see you all in the next one. Goodbye.